Are you in a good mood this morning?
I'm in a good mood.
You're in a great mood, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Wonderful.
Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Doug.
How you doing, baby? Are you in a good mood this morning?
I'm in a good mood.
You're in a great mood, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Wonderful.
Tell everybody out there in YouTube land what the morning is.
What the morning is?
Yeah, what morning is it?
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning. So what does that mean for my
Means back to
home-dwelling, work-camping wife?
It means back to work.
Back to work. Woo!
You too, not just me.
Oh, you plan on me working today? No, I'm in a bad mood. Look at that sky this morning. Folks, we are heading into autumn in the Adirondack Mountains. This is what they call a spectacular time of the year. And, see, we got mountains around here. And the leaves are changing already. You can see some color starting to pop out on the tops of the mountains. And we're heading to work.
To show them the view when we get to Doctor's Person. Right?
Yep. So what'd you do all weekend?
Work.
Did you have a good weekend? Do anything fun?
We went to see Aunt Joan.
Celebrated Aunt Joan's birthday.
Yeah, I had Nora Wednesday night.
Yep. We used the hot tub.
We used the hot tub. I used it twice in one day.
We watched some videos last night of camping with the Kellys.
Yeah, we did.
They had a couple of very informative videos.
Yes, they did.
Yep. So if you, and I know they watch our channel every now and then, so camping with the Kellys, giving you guys a prop here, enjoying your videos, doing a good job, guys, out there living the dream, explaining to other people the expenses of living on the road.
Which is really hard to come up with.
They are, because they vary.
So many variables.
Especially with insurances and things.
Well, and how much traveling you do. That can have a huge impact.
It's very expensive to move. Every time you decide to move around, you pull up to the diesel pump and it's like $100. So, something to keep in mind.
But that's part of the lifestyle, so.
Yeah, they had some pretty good pointers, I felt, on how you could make money living the nomadic lifestyle.
Yeah, they had some sites I had never heard of, so definitely ones we're going to be looking into.
Yeah, there was some apps for your phone that I had sent Christina the link so we could remember the name yesterday. And got some good information from a couple of those videos.
Yep.
Some of the stuff we pretty much already knew as far as the living expenses and things were on the road.
You can always learn. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Always learning.
So I think in a way our work camping and travel experience, it's a little bit different than most people. And that would be because we still have a house.
Yep.
People ask me sometimes if we're full-timers, and I say we're part-time full-timers. So we're talking about going out west now, possibly Arizona, for this winter. We were originally going to go to Florida, and then we've decided that we were in Florida for, 4 months last winter, and that maybe we'd go out west again. And what was your reasoning, Christina? Can you explain to the people what you're thinking? Had a lot to do with staying close to home this summer, didn't it?
It did. So we've been home since May, and we're going to be here until the beginning of January. And I think we both have really enjoyed being home, but we both really miss traveling and kind of going to areas that we either haven't been to or haven't really spent a lot of time in. So we decided that in order to kind of fulfill that need that we both have, that this winter, instead of going to Florida, which we kind of feel like we've been to Florida a lot, not necessarily as work campers, but it's a state that we've traveled to a lot, that we would head back out west and maybe venture to other areas.
I'm still listening to you. I'm just showing the folks the fog coming off the kind of a swampier area over here. And then we're coming up onto the high peaks of the Adirondacks. The view's going to really open up here in a minute. So like Christina was saying, or I guess we were both saying, like we were both saying, we are part-time full-timers, which means that we had built a brand new house. We were 4 years trying to get out of debt, downsizing, selling all kinds of collector's vehicles and everything you can imagine. Stuff, and we still have too much stuff. But we got to the point where we don't have any payments on anything, so we have regular living expenses. But it's a struggle. Like our school tax bill just came in, and you gotta figure out how you're gonna pay that when you're making wages doing work camping. I'm gonna show you the view here. This is where the view opens up.
This is Spruce Hill.
The top of Spruce Hill.
Coming down into Keene, New York. Not to be confused with Keene, New Hampshire.
Look at that. We live in a beautiful area, which makes it tough to go to other areas that we want to go to in the summertime, because we're leaving what I think is one of the most beautiful areas in the country. The Adirondack Mountains of northern New York, upstate New York. I usually say northern New York because upstate New York can be from half an hour north of New York City. Could be Buffalo, could be Syracuse, could be Rochester, which we consider like western New York. It's all relative. We live about, an hour from the Canadian border.
Yep.
We'll be in Montreal in about an hour and a half. So that's our mountains. I'm doing it through the windshield and it wants to focus on the windshield.
The windshield's not very clean.
The windshield's not very clean. Maybe you can see that there's a little twinge of color already in our mountains up here, and what's today? Today's 16th of September?
Yeah.
So fall comes early up here. And sometimes we go almost right into winter. It's kind of sad. That's kind of cool.
That cloud right over the mountain.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to, but it wants to focus in on the windshield. So we're between Keene and Keene Valley, New York. It's a very big tourist area with hikers, and rock climbers, kayakers. Just people come up here to enjoy the peace and quiet. Because it's pretty quiet. There's not much traffic. The other day I had to wait for like 5 minutes. I just happened to be at the intersection in town like 7:30 in the morning when it was really busy. And I thought to myself, we think this is traffic.
Yeah, we'll be yelling, come on!
Oh, yeah.
Jam.
Yeah.
As you say, it's all relative.
So like I was saying, so I guess you could say that we're trying to have the best of both worlds. We originally thought, well, maybe we'll sell the house and we'll just only have an RV. Then I always say that it was Christina's grandmother's china cabinet that made us make a decision. You have like family heirlooms like that, and at the time, none of our kids were really established, because that could have had a bearing on what we decided to do. our daughter was just going through a divorce, and she had a big house, but the future of that house was very uncertain. So we didn't want to store stuff there. We didn't want to just give her stuff. We would have burdened her with a lot of our stuff, and that wouldn't have been fair. Our sons were living in New York City.
Very limited.
Nobody has any space down there. Rent is so expensive. So we decided to try to, my father had a lot next to his house that he gave us. He had offered it a year or two before that, and we just kind of laughed about it. And then we ended up building a house on it. And we love our little house. We have like a 700 square feet, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom dwelling.
It's perfect.
We did a lot of the work ourselves. Oh, there's the cops. Catching speeders up through Keene. And it's over a 2-car garage, which is a workshop, and gives us a place to do stuff. Pretty much this whole summer, that's really all we've been doing, is working on vintage campers and working our house, finishing things that just never got done originally.
Which is good.
It's good.
And it's bad.
I guess in a way, it is tiring in a way. It's things that we kind of enjoy, but we're getting a little sick of it. We still have a lot of work to do on this 68 Chateau that we're fixing up right now. And it gets a little discouraging sometimes, so that's why I wanted to try to get like the kitchen area done and then put some finishing touches on it to make it even better. So if we see one part of it done, it inspires us to keep going, and it motivates us to keep going, because we're going to make Christmas wreaths here pretty soon. So we really need to try to have that project buttoned up before wreaths start. So we're going to go right from that to Christmas wreaths. And I don't know, maybe we'll have it sold.
Tired listening.
She's tired listening to all this work we have to do, but we'll do it. So that's part of the key, I think, if you're going to go out on the road. You just got to figure out other ways that you can make money. You're not going to get rich. We're camping. We're making like $2 an hour more in New York because minimum wage is that much higher than it was in the South.
Plan on it.
But it still only just pays your basic bills.
Right. No matter where you go, it's pretty much.
Yeah, you're pretty much going to make minimum wage. So whatever state you're looking into, you can just count on minimum wage, which is a hard pill to swallow. If you're like an electrician or a plumber or something, you might be able to negotiate better than that, but you're not going to make the kind of money that you do just working, like your regular job that you maybe are either retired from or you're trying to escape from.
But you typically don't have the expenses that you would if you had a stick-built house. Typically. We do.
Right.
But
we do, because we try to do both. So we do have the expense. We don't have a mortgage, but we have taxes, and we have homeowners insurance, and we have the bills of a house, like propane and electricity, all that good stuff. So when we leave, we usually shut everything off, turn the water off at the road, turn the electricity off so we don't even have a power bill, and then we just have it turned back on like a day before we come home. And we've never had cable, and we've never had Wi-Fi in that house. We pay my parents a certain amount per month, and we get their Wi-Fi password, and we use the Wi-Fi from next door. We're kind of right on the fringe of having it work pretty good, and everything we watch, we just stream. So we don't really need cable. We can get our news that way, weather, all that stuff. We watch YouTube, Netflix, Amazon Prime. We did have Hulu for a while. Then we decided there was a lot of duplication. We didn't really need another one, so we dropped Hulu. And I will say that one thing that I look forward to the most on our days that we go home is we stay at the campground for 3 nights a week, and we stay at our house for 4 nights a week. So the way our schedule is right now, we get home Tuesday afternoons, usually a little bit after 5 p.m., and then we leave the house at about 7 a.m. on Saturday. And one of the things that I look forward to the most is I do like my bed better in the house. I like having the extra space. but having reliable Wi-Fi, because you don't have that at a campground, and we're not paying for a mobile hotspot. A mobile hotspot could be one of your bigger bills. I think you could probably, to get all the data that you'd need if you stream things, and we have a YouTube channel, and I have a Toy Hauler fans on Facebook. Hey, go Toy Hauler fan members. We're coming up on 20,000 members on Toy Hauler fans, and it's a page that I started on Facebook for people that have toy haulers or in the market for toy haulers, just have an interest in that product line in general. So we have to have access to the web, and sometimes finding good Wi-Fi could be a struggle.
You need to, sorry.
What?
No, next time you go home, you need to check out that sign on that mailbox.
Why?
I'm not going to say it right now. You need to check it out.
So what do you think about all this, Mr. Turbo? Turbo's been missing Roxy the Wonder Dog, as we all have. But he's dealing with it just like we are. He's being a good boy. He gets a little anxious when he sees us backing up and starting to leave. He gets anxious in both directions, when we're leaving the campground and when we're leaving our house.
He knows.
He just knows. You start packing and the dog gets all excited and anxious and jumping around, and he wants to make sure you're not, whines. Just wants to make sure that you're not going to leave him, I guess. So I'm not really sure why I felt like we needed to shoot this video this morning. I think it was some of the things that came up when we were watching Camping with the Kellys last night. And they had made a good point. We don't really get a lot of comments, and we're at kind of a crossroads this summer where we haven't really been traveling much. So there hasn't been a lot of content like there was when we were traveling full time with our YouTube channel. And because we're working at a corporate park, I don't feel like I can do a lot of videotaping there. So you haven't seen a lot of that action or actual jobs working at a campground, doing work camping. So I think we've almost been leaning towards, there's been quite a few videos of restoring these old campers and stuff. So we're on the third one. We've sold one. I had the 63 Garway sold, and I backed out of the deal because I wasn't quite done doing some things I wanted to do to it. And we just ordered an awning, which is actually coming in today. We were anxious to put that on. I'll show you some more leaves here. You probably won't be able to see that. The sun is coming from the other direction. It's a pretty morning here. There you can see these.
This is Upper J.
Upper J, that used to be the land of make-believe right over here. Right on the river, on the Outsable. The Outsable flooded so many times they ended up closing that theme park. Ardo Monaco, the guy was a genius. He developed a lot of these theme parks and stuff up this way in the Adirondacks.
Wasn't he part of Disney?
Yeah, he worked for Disney. He pretty much designed Santa's Workshop, Storytown down in Lake George.
Just now Great Escape.
Now Great Escape, owned by Six Flags. Had his own theme park right back there. That was a really cool place. Land of Make-Believe in Upper J, New York. So if you've never been to the Adirondacks, this is probably what I'll be filming quite a bit here in the next month or so. If you've never been to the Adirondack Mountains in New York State, and that is right, folks, it's New York State. A lot of people, if you're not from this area, still think that New York is one big city. And you could not be more wrong. That is a huge misconception when it comes to New York State. We live in a beautiful area here. We have maybe 1,000 people in the little town that we live in. And we have mountains. We have pretty good sized mountains. We have mountains that are over 5,000 feet high. We have very small little towns. We have virtually no traffic. we're pretty close to what I call the capital of the Adirondacks up here. We're in Wilmington, New York. Yeah, the campground we work at markets itself as being in Lake Placid. That's what people come up here for, is Lake Placid, all the Olympic venues up here. Quite a bit of stuff to do around Lake Placid, a lot of restaurants right on Mirror Lake. The Oktoberfest is going on when? Next weekend? And the KOA, where we work, is the sponsor of the fireworks for the Oktoberfest.
It's okay, buddy.
So Turbo, we start getting close to the campground, and this is how he starts to act.
Starts to get a little nervous.
Yeah, he gets a little antsy. So what I had started to say, of course I deviate into another direction constantly, probably drives people crazy, as it does my wife. Editing. What I started to say is leave your comments if there's things you don't like. I know that's the painful part.
Well, we know one
look
thing
at
that
this.
people often say they don't like is the fisheye lens from the GoPro, and we understand that. It's just right now, with what we have to use, that is the most convenient camera when we're...
Well, I'm not using it on this video.
You're not, but we're in a car and you have access to things. But, you know, if you're out hiking and stuff or whatever, it's not necessarily the easiest to bring that camera. It's a lot easier just to bring the GoPro. So we understand the fisheye lens is one complaint that we've had.
This camera doesn't fit in the in my pocket. Show you what this camera looks like. Can you see this camera? It just doesn't fit my pocket.
It's small, but it's not as small as a GoPro. So
I do like this camera. It does a good job.
or things you'd like to see. Maybe there's things in the area that they'd like to see that we kind of take advantage of being here all the time.
Or things that you'd like to learn about.
Yeah.
I know it's a huge step when you're thinking about taking the plunge and quitting your full-time job in security and leaving your comfort zone to do something that's completely unknown. That's a big step. It's a real big step, and it wasn't one that we took lately. But I guess the biggest thing is you just have to believe in yourself. Somebody made a point one time on one of the work camper Facebook pages when I was asking for advice. They said, it seems like you've done a pretty good job taking care of yourself up to this point. So why is that going to change when you go out on the road or become a work camper? It's just you adjust. And if you're going to do work camping, it definitely takes you out of being complacent, because you can't really get in a comfort zone. You might start to fall into a comfort zone, and it's going to be time to move. And time to move on to that new job. And every time you move on to a new job, there's new people there, there's new personalities that you've got to get used to, there's new policies and ways that they do things.
And it could literally be a new position, like something you've never done before, which is kind of scary and exciting at the same time.
This is what he does when we get close to the campground. He's a nutcase. So I tell people we're at the foot of Whiteface Mountain. That's Whiteface. It's all fogged in, right in the clouds this morning. And the campground is right up here. So we're at the foothills, really, of Whiteface. That's the Olympic Mountain. See the leaves? You can see them better now because the sun's actually shining on them.
Yeah. Should take a walk around the campground, maybe when there's more color. Take a walk around the campground.
So this is where we work, folks. There's Whiteface. There's the entrance.
Turb, it's okay. There's Mary.
And the work campers are starting to leave. And it's time for me to take care of the garbage.
Okay. Gotta go to work, Turby. Gotta go to work. I love you too.
Bye, Turbo.
Oh.
So there it is. Home sweet home for about half the week. Work Camper Row. KOA, Lake Placid, Whiteface Mountain, New York. Tell too. Very quiet here, except for some dogs barking.
If you're enjoying the videos, folks, please like, share, but most importantly, subscribe. You'd be amazed what you'll see if you get off the couch. Have a great